Fáilte over Cordia, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. As always, we'll be crossing over to Manchester later on to join Martin Logan, who's out and about with the Irish community right across the UK. But this week we're in the North Mayo capital of Ballina, where one of the first men's sheds in the country was set up. And it's based here right behind me at the old Astoria Cinema, a great place for young couples many moons ago when they enjoyed a night out. So we're going to meet some of the people involved in the project.
The gypsy rover came over the hill and down through the valley so shady. He whistled and he sang till the greenwood rang, and he won the heart of a lady. Addy-doo, addy-doo, addy, addy-doo, addy-day. He whistled and he sang till the greenwood rang, and he won the heart of a lady.
2015, January 2015, we came to this building, but originally we had started 2011, and we were in different places, the milk company, back in the training centre, the family resource centre, and we were kind of being driven from post to pillar, but we lost our premises then down at the milk company, and we didn't have any place for 2 or 3 years, but thank God to the Mayo County Council they came on board, and they offered us here at the old Astoria Cinema. And we came into it and the snow was on the roof and it was a cold old January day, but we went in and we looked around and we didn't know what was. You know, it was really, there was this bad smell of it, the water was running out the front door, but we said we'd have a go at it anyhow. So we got together. It took us 2 years to get it anywhere middle at all. It was a project on its own because we were working every day at it, and it meant a lot of hard work. There was a lot of work to be done. Willie was great with the petitions, putting them up. We were coming behind them, painting them. The tiles had to come off the floor. So there was a lot of work, but look, it is what it is today, and the amount of people that praise us when they come in and see how good the job we've done of it. And we are very proud of it, you know, because we're doing great work here now at the moment.
And how often is it open?
It's open 5 days a week from Monday to Friday. We open at about 10:15 in the morning, and they could be here till 3 or 4 in the evening here, and they get an awful out of it. Once 11 o'clock, 11:30 comes, that's when the crowd start, and this room is the busiest room where all the projects are going on, the different projects are going on. But we also have a lovely room inside where you're in already, say, the art room and relaxation room, do a lot of art, and we have the recreation area and we have the kitchen, of course. This is where all the crack is.
And then you have a leisure side of it where you have chess and cards and billiards and all.
Every Wednesday night they come in, there's snooker going on all the time. I believe there's a lot more snooker going on than I thought. But no, the lads are good, and we do have snooker competitions and just different. Whist now is another one we're trying to promote, and the cards are on every Wednesday night, so it is it's good.
What do you think, Seamus? You've been involved from the start now with Men's Shed here. Yeah. What do you think it means for men to come in here and spend some time?
Well, it's just a place for them to go. If they were at home, it wouldn't be the same, that it might talk to anyone all day. So they come in here and you could have got 10, 15 fellas coming in here talking, and once you sit around the table and start talking about the game that's about to happen or the game that happened yesterday, you know, someone to talk to.
And is there criteria for joining the Men's Shed?
No, when you can come in and once you're over 18 and under 92, you're okay, or under any age, you know, it's just come in and get involved. But that's why I ask them all to try and get involved. Some will come in and they walk out again. I prefer to see them getting involved. If it's only putting on the television or reading a book or making a cup of tea, you know, come in and try and come to us more often than you have been, like, you know.
Well, as you can see, there are so many different strands to the Men's Shed here in Ballina, but one particular area they're very proud of, and that is their charity fundraising. I'm joined now by Pat Boyle, and you've undertaken a number of charity events, haven't you, and fundraisers?
We have helped out Cree, we have helped out Cancer, we have helped out the hospice, Northwest Hospice, but our big one was Bumbulance. Going back a few years ago, I remember getting a call, would you do a gig down in Ballina for Bumbulance? I didn't even know what Bumbulance was. I thought it was somebody acting a mick with me, but I decided I'd better go down anyhow. And when I saw 12 or 13 wheelchairs coming along, and I said, well, it's like this, if you pay me for it, don't ask me to do it again.
Now, just explain now, for people who may not know, a Bumbulance is what?
It's an ambulance service for very sick children. One of our members here, they have a grandson who uses Bumbulance. And I can assure you, he does appreciate it. The mother and father, the child appreciates it. And also we have Amy, you'll see photographs of her over there, Amy O'Loughlin, who uses Bumbleins all the time. And it was through them that Bumblein started. And we've raised 40,000 in about a year and a half. With the help of John Glennon, the mainliners, Declan Ernie, Matthew O'Donnell, Pat Hughes and Sylvie Goulden, Davy McDonald, PJ Clark, all the lads we organised the night one night, all the lads who played in bands years ago, and they all got together and we fundraised, and we raised in the guts of now it was hard going because we went down to the loft.
In the town here.
Town here. And could you imagine going down to the loft now today and selling lines outside? Well, there wasn't a day we left the loft outside the loft that we didn't sell seven or 800 euros worth.
Fantastic.
And it was great, and it was very much appreciated. But the best day was when we got a phone call to say that there was a Bumbleins coming to Mayo. Now, if I was to die tomorrow, at least I have it to say that I helped out, I done my gigs free of charge, and there's a Bumbleins in Mayo.
And just let people know that Pat is a legendary DJ here in not just in Mayo, indeed in the west of Ireland, called Pat's Country Roadshow. So he knows all these guys and he knows how to get money out of them. Now, you have another fundraising project coming up for Bumbleins.
We have another, we have another one for Bumbleins coming up after Christmas. And the Men's Shed, Val from the Men's Shed has sponsored a lovely light for first prize. It's worth about 300 euros.
Fantastic.
And he has sponsored it. And that'll be sometime after Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Well done. And thanks for joining us on the programme.
Okay, thank you very much yourself, Henry.
Willie, this is the main workshop here in the Men's Shed in Ballina.
Yes,
a lot of activity here.
Oh, yeah. It's a fine place, as you can see. And we have a lot of tools and equipment here. And we get all kinds of little projects in from the public. And we try to accommodate people for most things that comes in. And a wide area, a diverse amount of things come in to be fixed, like kitchen chairs, you name it, anything. And we'll take it on and try and do it.
And how often would this be in action now, this workshop?
Practically every day. You know, we'll have a certain amount of fellas that comes in here all the time, and they love it, like. And whatever projects are on, I try to coordinate them and give out the work to different fellas that'll suit. As you can realise there's a wide different skill set with people, so they all have their own little things they can help out with, even sanding a bit of timber or painting or whatever. So we just designate little jobs for them to do, and they're all happy. And there's great fun in here, and we have great crack at times.
Give an example of some of the projects the guys are working on at the moment. I know there's one here, a crib you've just finished.
Yeah, that's a crib. It's an outdoor crib for Christmas, so that's a fairly big project. And there's a doll's house there that Joe is doing, a buddy bench. There's all sorts, but most of the stuff we do, it comes in and goes out. You don't have it here on the job. That's a sleigh for Christmas.
Wow.
So, and that's for outdoor as well.
There's great craftsmanship involved.
Oh, there is, yeah. Like, you're really tested, and you have to think a lot, and you have to plan out all those things, because most of the time you're just doing it from a picture or something. So
you've worked on a number of community projects as well, and one in particular in St. Joseph's School in Rahings, just outside the town here, where you come up with a lovely sensory playground.
Yes, we were delighted when they came to us with that first, and so all those things are challenging because they just give you a rough idea, maybe a photograph or something. So you have to plan it all out, even get the size of it. Like, you have no plan of dimensions or anything. So you have to work it out in your own head, get the colour scheme and get everything to work, So, it's a challenge at times, but we love that. Like,
I presume you got great satisfaction when you see the kids out there playing.
Exactly, yeah. And when you see people, when they see the finished product, you get great satisfaction, when you see that it's exactly what they want, So we love that,
We decided to visit St. Joseph's School in Rahings, just outside Ballina, to take a look at a playground created by Men's Shed.
well, we're delighted to be in a position to create a sensory area adjacent to the unit. It wouldn't have been possible without the men's shed here in Ballina because, as everybody can understand, there's restricted funding from the Department of Education, and a lot of that money was used internally in providing for a sensory room and so on. So we looked to Ballina Men's Shed to help us, and we've been absolutely delighted with the response that we've received from them.
And did you know the requirements of what they had to come up with for this sensory?
Well, our teachers had very special pieces in mind because this is a sensory area. So you're looking to develop language, you're looking to develop play, you're looking to develop all sorts of things with the children. So it's very specific in what we set out to do. So we spoke to Ballina Men's Shed to see if they'd be able to accommodate the various requirements that we had. And I'm pleased to say not only did they accommodate us, they actually outdid what we would ever have hoped that they would do.
You even have your own little shop here for the kids.
Yeah, we have a shop area, and it's a vital part of the school because we do a thing called reverse integration. So that means that the children from the ASD unit that are in mainstream classes for part of the day will bring friends from that mainstream class back down here to play. So it really assists the socialisation. It's also teaching them life skills that they can learn in an environment that's fun and that's safe. And without this kind of equipment, that kind of effort and teaching and learning would not be possible.
Well, the men's shed here in Ballina houses a lot of the old photographs and artefacts of the history and culture of the town. And a man that should know something about it is Stan McAndrew, because you're involved in the garage business for many, many years. And a lot of the old garages photographs are on display here.
That's right. The history of the town and the garages as they were back when we were young are there. Thanks to a man called PJ Clark that kept all those photographs, got them enlarged, and he brings them in here. And it's lovely to come in, and you can even remember things that you'd forgotten about when you see the photographs.
There was quite a lot of garages in town that time.
15 at one time in the town. So a lot of them are there. They've changed hands. Some of them will remain in the family, but very few, because modernisation took away a lot of the old garages and probably planning permission too.
Have you found out which was the oldest garage of the town out of that lot?
I would at a guess say McAndrews were, because they came no, I'm not 100% sure. That garage was started in 1928, but it was O'Donnell and McAndrew. And then McAndrew bought out O'Donnell, and it grew from there, and eventually he got the Volkswagen agency, and at one stage he was the biggest Volkswagen dealer in Ireland. He had the highest sales for the whole country. Fantastic. And things changed. Now, one of the original garages that kind of faded away, and the grandsons took it over again to be Connolly's garage, and that's the main Volkswagen dealer out the Foxford Road, and they have other agencies as well and garages everywhere. They have grew very big. I'm
joined now by another member of Men's Shed here in the town, PJ Clark, a well-known historian, and he's compiled a history of cinema here in the town from 1912 to 2019. PJ, there was 3 cinemas in the town over the years.
It was a unique achievement, actually. But before the 3 cinemas, the first cinema was erected by a man called Harrison, who also had a travel cinema, and he could go from Foxford and Swinford and show different films. So Arthur Muffney had built the town hall, and he had concerts since 1904. And then his son, James Ahern, took over, and by 1914, when he had seen the success of Harrison's, he decided to put in films in there. And one of the first films, it was unique, one of the first films that he put in there was The Battle of the Somme. It was amazing, like that was in 1914 or 1916, and he showed it in the town hall, and people couldn't believe it of what happened out. So what happened then was, Mr. Mulligan, who was the solicitor, he opened in November 1931, and the first film that he showed was a film by Laurel Hardy. So that was the first one, and then by 1947, then they opened the Savoy, and that was a huge success. That was a huge the voice.
And how big was the cinema here we're standing in now, this story? What would it take, about 300 people?
What we did, we were actually standing in the foyer of the place, and at the doorway here, what they did was the ticket office. And then we had a balcony, which was unique at the time. You see, there was a balcony at the town hall, but it was different than the balcony up there, and would have held around 300 people. 320, I think, was the max seats.
Finally, can I ask you, do you remember your all-time favourite film here in the Astoria?
The all-time favourite. Well, I had a good few. The likes of, well, you had John Wayne, and you had what's his name? Buck Owens, and there was some brilliant. Audie Murphy was great too. You know, John Wayne, of course, Randolph Scott, Iron Jones, and the great thing about all these fellas, when they be fighting, their hats used to never fall off, and you wonder, what kind of had the hair on their head, or was it stuck on by super glue? But it used to be amazing, tossing all over the ground, and still the hat kept
Great memories indeed.
It was lovely. It was a lovely childhood, you know.
Well done, and thanks for joining us.
You're welcome, my son. You're welcome to Ballina.
Along the River Moy is the Cotton Cobble Bar and Restaurant, and the men shed came up with a wonderful idea to enhance the area by making planters for shrubs.
To my left here is a range of wooden planters manufactured in the Ballina men's shed over a couple of weeks period. Now these planters are special in one way in that they have plastic liners inside each one which can be interchanged and, when needed, redressed. Beside the cotton cobble we also see two boats named after two boats which were used on the Moy back in the day, and they were called the Cot and the Cobble, wherein the pub achieved its name. That was also part of the project we entertained at the time.
These planter boxes are all made with tannalized timber, and as you can see, there's a coat of paint on them, so you can paint them whatever colour you like, but they're guaranteed to last 10-15 years.
We get a lot of interest from garden maintenance companies who come in and ask us to theme them for their particular client in whatever fashion and different colours they wish to have them, and anything else that's required we're willing to make them, to manufacture them to their requirements.
As you can see, Men's Shed here in Ballina are very creative. Another project they were very much involved in was a mural in the centre of town.
So we're here in Old Pawn Office Lane, just beside the River Moy, and about a couple of months ago Anne-Marie Flynn approached us, would we get involved in doing murals around the town. Now I didn't think much of it at the time, but come the beginning of September she said you have to pick a theme. So we sat down and we talked about it, and we came up with the River Moy in the 70s, pulling in the nits, which you can see there now, and they were taken from photographs that we put together. So we came here then on Monday morning and not having a clue how to do a mural or anything, and we started doing little shapes, squares, circles, and all little kind of different kind of shapes. So it all led to what you see there today, and we're very proud of it, and we've got great reviews from the public. They all think it's absolutely great.
I started here about 3 years ago with the lads, and we had an introduction into wood turning because they had two lathes here and they didn't know how to use them. So I came in here and we ran several courses for them, and they covered all aspects of wood turning, and that led to us bringing in other groups from other areas. We were asked to bring in Chime, the national charity for deafness and hard of hearing, and they were looking for somewhere that they could use. So the lads here facilitated them, and we did a course here for 12 weeks, and they made little three-legged stools, and it was fantastic. We had an interpreter there with us, and they brought a new feeling to the place, I think.
Now you have another life as well, and that as a professional photographer, and you use that to good use here in Men's Shed.
Yes, so I teach digital photography, and I teach how to make picture frames, how to mount frames, canvas and printing. And we go out and we do a couple of field trips. So we do maybe 4 hours of theory, which wrecks their head generally, and everybody wants to get out and go to the woods, and we do composition and light and exposure, and we talk about all of that as well. And it's fantastic because everyone has a camera now or a phone camera, and it's just great to be able to use it to its potential if possible, you know.
I suppose only a matter of time before you'll have a photography exhibition here in the main shed.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that'll be the next down the line if they allow me. Yeah, you know, I won't put my foot in too much.
Well done anyway. Keep up the good work.
Thanks very much, Henry. Thank you. Pleasure.
Well, I'm with Vincent and Val here, and we're going to get something specially made for the programme. Vincent, you're going to explain.
Yes, indeed. This here is a beautiful pen. It's one of Val's favourites. It's made from Irish yew, and it actually works. It'll write, it does everything. And we're just going to go quickly through the process of making this. This didn't just happen. When the wood comes from the tree, it's sawn like that into a log. The centre of it is useless. That's used for stakes. So it has to be cut here, and cut here, and cut here. And then you get what's known as a blank. And this is just a little rectangular piece of wood. And you have to drill it, and Val can take over for now to show you the rest of it.
Now, that's the bit of timber that we put in there. We have a spacer there, we have a spacer there, and we have a spacer there. We tighten up this bit of wood there, and that's all ready now for making me biro. I start the machine up, let the spade come up. That's from Val, from the main shed.
Lovely.
All the boys in the main
I
shed.
just open it here.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's maple and rosewood.
Yeah.
No.
Case.
What about that?
It falls fully back.
Fantastic.
Will you go?
We're going to play out now with the Main Shed Choir with a beautiful rendition of Will You Go, Lassie Go. And congratulations to everybody involved with the project here in Ballina. Indeed, a lot of men's sheds across the country could learn a lot from the experience here in the town of Ballina. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget there will be a repeat of this programme on Saturday next at 8 o'clock. And I look forward to you accompanying next week at the same time. So until then, slán go fóill.